And now we have for you the debut of a brand new program on our show called Mirror on the Movies. Now if that sounds familiar, it's because Mirror is a regular feature in Fine Times magazine where Leo Irwin, our movie critic at large, has been reviewing movies for over a year now, and we're happy to have him as one of the Focus Delaware family. Leo, welcome to Focus Delaware.
Thank you very much, Bob. The movie we're turning the mirror on tonight is Continental Divide, and it's worth looking into. On one level, the title refers to the Continental Divide itself and those regions of the Rockies where bald eagles soar and where one of the principals, Blair Brown, is Nell, an ornithologist and more than a little bit of a loner, has set up camp to study them. On another level, the film is about the continental-sized division between Nell and the other principal, John Belushi as Suchak, a crusty, chain-smoking, hard-drinking columnist for the Chicago Sun-Times who runs afoul of a crooked city alderman and is dispatched by his editor to the Divide until things cool down and to do a story about Nell in the process. It isn't a story he relishes doing. And what little enthusiasm he has for it evaporates while he's being led to her cabin when a curious black bear raids his camp and all but polishes off the supply of cigarettes he's carried with him. Well, the birdwatcher isn't exactly happy to see him either, but as Suchak says, "Look, I've got no booze, 9 cigarettes, and I want to stay here only marginally more than I want to die trying to escape." Well, they establish an uneasy truce on the condition that he write not one word about Nell. And for want of other entertainment, Suchak starts following her as she goes about her business. Now that's easier said than done, as this scene shows.
How you doing, Mr. Suchak?
Just great. Just great. This is so much fun. You know, I should get out more.
Be careful around these rocks.
Oh, no problem. Jesus Christ.
Do you want to rest for a bit?
No, not me. I'm fine. I can go all day. I'd like to get this broad in a bowling alley. Jeez.
When I was up here last spring, they had 2 eaglets, Bruno and Sarah. I just hope Sarah didn't murder her brother.
They do that?
To get his food.
Really?
The young female is dominant. Nature's way.
Well, they eventually warm up to one another, and by the time they fall in love, it's time for Suchak to head for home. He might as well have stayed in the mountains as far as his editor is concerned. He's still so smitten with Nell that he's incapable of writing a single word, preferring instead to plod around downtown Chicago in the grimiest jacket this side of Stalag 17. The predictable death of his inside man at City Hall finally jolts him back to the beat and sets the stage for his reunion with Nell, who comes to Chicago to deliver a speech. He tries to talk her into staying. She asks him to return to the Divide with her. Do the twain ever meet? Well, you'll have to see the movie to find out. Now, in this movie, Belushi proves that he can do more than crush beer cans against his forehead, and while his performance has some weak spots, they're more than offset by Brown's excellent work. Whether she's fixing a generator or chasing off poachers who've been taking pot shots at her eagles, she's always believable and always beautiful. The camera work is too. Continental Divide may not be a heavyweight film, but it can add a touch of warmth to these chilly October evenings, and with the cost of energy what it is today, that makes it worth looking into. Next time we'll turn the mirror on Meryl Streep and the French Lieutenant's Woman. Until then, for Focus Delaware and Fine Times Magazine, this is Leo Irwin. I'll see you at the movies.
Leo Irwin, that was great.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Leo, welcome again to the family. And listen, if you can get us some free tickets, let me know. Always looking for a freebie. Leo, sitting next to you is Steve Turnberger from our Sports Update, who also does a special. Steve, I wanted to ask you, we had an extra minute here to talk about Delaware's football schedule. Now, that's a subject that's been much maligned. I've heard people say that they're where they belong, they shouldn't upgrade their schedule. Others have said that they're playing too easy, and others have said, look, Delaware's just a great team. They're just beating their competition. Do you feel that Delaware should upgrade their schedule?
Definitely, no question about it. Right now, I believe they play 5 good schools, 5 good teams: Western Kentucky, Temple, Lehigh, Massachusetts, and University of Connecticut. The other 5 teams are questionable. You're talking Westchester State. Now, people say it's a rivalry. I think the rivalry is over with. Westchester will never beat Delaware as their 2 programs go in the future. Maine is a questionable team, and people talking about Delaware going into the Yankee Conference, I think it's a bad move. It is not a step up. The big thing that they're worried about is the traveling cost, and traveling up to New England will not help it at all. They say that the Western Kentucky game was the last time they'll ever play that far away from home. So I look for them. I'd love to see them maybe play Boston College maybe once a year, Army, Navy, Virginia, and maybe a Maryland. Just throw one of those teams in there once a year, and you'd sell out Delaware Stadium, and you could probably put 30, 35,000 fans in Newark if you wanted to.
Well, there's one opinion. Maybe you'll let Steve Turnberger know what your opinion is on that subject. And now we've got to say goodbye for Steve Turnberger and for Leo Irwin and for the cast and guests of Focus Delaware. We want to welcome you next week, watch the show. Next week we got a dynamite lineup. Special guest, Governor Pierre DuPont, magician Stuart Lewis, Dave Woolley Band, Irish singer-guitarist Liam McGuire, Tidewater Sailing Special, and much, much more.